Today I've got with me in the studio Donna-Leigh Perfect from the Dream Guards. Thanks for joining us on People with a Passion today, Donna.
Thank you, Craig, for inviting us. It's an amazing opportunity always to get our message out there into the wider audience, so appreciate it.
That's good. Now, you're looking very bright and colourful today. Do you want to explain the colours? What's that all about today?
Yes, well, I've come straight from the Queensland Children's Hospital in Brisbane, where we did a Dream Guard show today, which is actually part of the ECA party. So for the children that are too sick to leave the hospital and go to the ECA, which is a pretty special event for children, once a year, what they used to call the Royal Queensland Show. And, you know, we just wanted to go in there, volunteer our time and put some smiles on faces. So that's what we did today, along with a few other people that decided to volunteer too. So make it a special day for the kids.
So you and Michael, who is your partner, is also an entertainer. He's in another room. I can see him waving out there. He's a comedian, so he's already got me laughing.
Michael and I, we often get asked to volunteer to go into the wards, the cancer wards, where the children are, you know, pretty much immobilised. And they're not well, and it's quite a moving experience actually. We can't bring our balloons in, which is a big part of our show, our Dream Guard show. We have a storyboard of balloons as part of our peace tools, so we have to adapt a little bit to entertain them on a different level. Michael is a magician, so he has this ability to entertain with magic, and I was feeling a little bit vulnerable as to how I would entertain these children without the messages and the balloons and all the things that we do in our show. But I do have these amazing rainbow fans. And these rainbow fans are like 1 metre long, and they're a very fine Georgette kind of fabric, and they flow and they catch any breeze, and it's like a waterfall of colour. So I decided to take those rainbow fans into the ward, and I walked into one particular room, and there was a little girl, a little Asian girl, probably about 3 years old. She was standing connected to her IV drip, and her mum was sitting on the bed. And as soon as I walked in the room with the rainbow fans kind of dancing in there, the mother gestured toward me that she couldn't speak English. So I gathered very quickly that it was going to be a non-verbal kind of, you know, interaction. So I just started to dance in with my rainbow fans, and the little girl just was mesmerised by these rainbow fans. She came toward them with her IV drip, and she just pressed her up against this fabric, and she had this kind of flow about her with the fabric. So she was dancing with the fabric and moving with the fabric, and it was the most amazing feeling for me, and giggling and laughing. And I spent a few minutes in there with her, and she was just in this kind of amazing, mindful moment with this beautiful rainbow fan. And as I left the room, the mother was sitting on the bed, and she had tears flowing down her face. And she just gestured, you know, with a prayer position, saying thank you so much as I walked out. And that would have had to have been one of the most profound kind of moments I've had with children so far to date.
The thing is, you guys are entertainers, so one of the things for entertainers is to get that feedback from their audience. And even though this is a different environment and you're there to entertain the kids and lift them up, it also gives you that feedback that as someone you see value in what you're actually doing, that you know it is important, and there's a recognition there, non-verbal though it was, and quite powerful for you to say, well, this is where I'm needed, more or less. So let's talk about the Dream Guards, how they came about, and that need for you in the lives of these children.
Yes, yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, a very evolving journey actually, because it started, Michael being an entertainer for many, many years as a comedian. He was also an incredible balloon artist and magician. and he performs on cruise ships around the world. And one of the particular cruise lines, they requested a PG show. So he started to incorporate balloon artistry and magic into a show on the cruise ships. And one day because he's got a background in the Police Academy stunt show, he had a uniform as part of that show. And one day he showed me the uniform, and I said to him, wow, that uniform's got to come back alive, maybe in a children's show of some sort. Now, this was just after I had qualified as a personal trainer, and my passion was also to curb childhood obesity, which we now sadly have surpassed America statistically in childhood, obesity per capita. So it is a real problem. I wanted to train children to learn about being active and healthy every day. So I thought maybe we could incorporate some kind of a show with his balloon artistry, his magic, his comedy, and a little bit of education around health and nutrition for the children. So that was kind of how the Dream Guard started. And I remember our first show, I had this plan to do a workout with the kids with an agility ladder. I had this long agility ladder. And we went to a school, and we had about 65 children in this particular show. And I had this idea that we were going to do all this cool kind of workout in this agility ladder. And very quickly I realized that this was not going to work. The logistics of this was a complete nightmare, because by the time we got halfway through the workout, all the kids were backing up on each other, and we were creating this kind of, crazy situation. So I thought, no, the agility ladder is going to have to go. So let's work something else out. And during this time, I shared my story with my husband about my traumatic childhood. And he was absolutely blown away when I shared that story with him. And his immediate reaction was that you need to be sharing this story with children and people to inspire them to believe that they can overcome adversity in their life. And I had never, ever considered sharing my story with anyone. In fact, I think I had shared it maybe with 5 people in my life. Mm-hmm. And so it was a very private story that I'd kept to myself and probably, didn't feel comfortable to share.
Stepping out into the corridor, I saw a look on my mum's face as she ran past me. I will never forget. Utter terror. As my father chased her down the staircase with a knife. As my mum reached for the handle of the sliding door to try and escape, I witnessed my father drive the knife deep into her back. Stumbling along the side path to the front of the house, my mum collapsed to the ground. I was only 7. I wasn't supposed to see or hear my mum take her last breath. Sirens and crowds of people gathered around my mum's lifeless body as my father's cold, callous eyes stared back at me from the back of a police car. This was the beginning of my nightmare. I can still smell the musty scent of the grey flannel suit the social worker wore the day he took away my older brother, my sister, and my twin. 7 years old and completely alone. My resilience training had begun.
When he had said that to me, it kind of took on a whole new journey for me. And one day during a meditation, I talked to him about the bullying experiences I'd had at school because of being in 13 foster homes and 13 schools. Mm-hmm. I was being moved constantly and I never fitted in, and so I was a target for bullies. And I remember going into this meditation with an intention to come up with an acronym that would represent the universal sign for stop, which is the hand up high in the air. And coming out of this meditation, my peace tools were born. And it was the most phenomenal thing, because I remember coming out of this meditation and saying to Michael, wow, I've come up with this word, and it's peace. And I think it's a really cool kind of message, and do you want to hear it? And he said, of course, tell me about it. So I told him about it, and he was just blown away. So the P in the peace tool stands for P, protect yourself and be powerful. And if you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head held high, it's actually statistically proven you're less likely to be bullied or abused, because you're showing yourself to be confident. And then the E in peace stands for escape the situation. And it's about walking away, running away, and online turning off your device and not allowing, we're being really
engagement, basically. Don't engage in the behaviour.
Absolutely. And also to be mindful of be really mindful of your instincts and recognise those. And then the A is armour yourself, and it's about using your most powerful tool, which is your imagination, to build armour around your body so other people's opinions don't matter in your world. And especially with cyberbullying, because kids are really taking on the effects of words on their life and taking it so literally. So what we say is a lion never loses sleep over the opinions of sheep, so be the lion. And then the C in peace stands for creating strong friendships in your community of like-minded people that show you compassion, kindness, and have your back. And then the E, the final E in peace, is express your emotions. And it's about reaching out for the help and support you need if you're being bullied or abused, and being the upstander in your community and helping each other. So it's about showing compassion and kindness, because we are all connected. We're all humans. We're all sisters and brothers. And it's not about standing on the sideline and watching your sister or brother being abused and videoing it, because that is not compassionate. And, we need to understand that we're all connected, and we need to show love for each other. It's so important.
I don't think people realise we have these silly sayings like sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. But the truth is that is actually a falsity, an absolute falsity, because words are such powerful things, and people absorb those internally and subconsciously and start to believe if they're constantly told the same thing. So to empower yourself in that way that you say peace does, if you take those 5 things, it changes an internal narrative around who you are and what you can do to control an adverse situation, which is a wonderful epiphany, I guess, to have while you're meditating.
Absolutely, it so is. And it's where my peace tools were born, which is part of my talk I share on the stage now as an inspirational international speaker.
Yeah, so you're not just in schools, you're a resilience coach, and you do attend conferences with corporates.
Yes.
And businesses and colleges.
Yes.
So you're in the college system in the US. So you've just come back from Las Vegas.
I have.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Absolutely.
You don't have to tell me everything that went on. But yeah, look, like that. So this space, while you're working with kids, we're all kids at heart. Now, I've seen a little bit of what Michael does. I've seen what you've done on your Facebook page, which I'll link in the description. And I see that you both are kids at heart. And I think that's the difference too when you're connecting to talk about this anti-bullying space, is to come to the level that these kids actually are. Now, you've got 3 words on your Facebook page that are underneath your main cover or banner. What are those 3 words, and why did you choose those 3 words? So I think one's inspire, believe. There's another one, fails me.
Inspire, excite, and believe. Yeah.
So that's geared around your show, your resilience show. So why those 3 words? What do they represent for you, and what the Dream Guards do?
Well, I think first of all, when we say inspire, we all have the ability to inspire, and it is about sharing our stories, and we all have stories. And I think stories are very powerful, and if we can understand the power in our story and share our experiences on whatever platform that is, whether it's with a friend or with our community, then you never know where those little tiny gifts in your story can inspire somebody else when they're on a certain journey.
Absolutely.
So there are little tiny gifts. Excite is really this is so important, because especially for children, but for anybody in fact, because I feel that I excited my audience in Las Vegas with my delivery as well, and it is about captivating your audience in a different way. Because, everybody can get up there and talk and deliver a boring seminar or a boring lecture, and the audience is falling asleep, or they're not really addressing the WIFM, what's in it for the audience.
That's it.
So it's so important to captivate your audience and connect with them. And I believe that's what we do by exciting our audience with amazing balloon artistry, with magic, with story sharing, storytelling, and we get them up active and we're jumping around, we're dancing, we're rocking it out, and it's a very captivating show.
Yeah, and the last word there, believe.
Believe in yourself. Be you, be your unique self. We're all unique beings, and we were born that way. And so we need to believe in our uniqueness and, be ourselves and celebrate and embrace our differences, And I feel so blessed really now to have lived the experiences I have, because it enables me to help others.
That's the thing with the narrative of a negative, is if you have this approach to turn it into a positive, which it can actually benefit yourself and others. But it's getting to that point where you realise that adversity makes you stronger, as the saying says. Now, we'll move on a little bit into the conversation, because you've got a massive project that you're trying to undertake, world record of the Global Gratitude Chain. So I want to know what that is and explain to people how they can become involved in that.
I would love to share that, actually. And it's such an interesting story, this Global Gratitude Chain. It started about, I believe, 18 months ago now. I'm not 100% sure of that time, but we had a community event. It was a Dream Guards community event. And just prior to this event, I had a family reach out to me. It was actually friends of us, that they had a problem with their 14-year-old daughter. She was being bullied for about 9 months, and this young woman was suicidal. The family reached out to me very late one night, absolutely just, devastated, wondering what they could do, how they could help their daughter and protect her and support her. The following morning, I went around to their home and I took a number of resources, some books. One book particularly that we support in our show is a book, From Bullied to Brilliant.
Okay.
Phenomenal book written by Karen Clark. Mm-hmm. She's a Sunshine Coast author.
Okay.
And
I'll have to try and get her on the show.
Yes, absolutely. So, and so I offered this girl a few resources, including some positive affirmations that I had written up and typed and laminated, ready for her to put up on her mirror. And I shared my story with her that morning, and she was completely, shocked to hear the adversity that I'd been through as a child, and what I was doing today because of my story, because of my experiences, and the empowerment that I gave her in those few hours completely transformed her life. So within about 4 weeks, she volunteered to come along to our community event as a volunteer. And during this community event, one of the activities, I wanted to have a few activities on the sideline apart from our show, that while people were mingling before and after the show, that there would be empowering activities that would get them thinking about compassion, about kindness. And so one of the activities was a table with paper strips of paper about, they're 6 centimetres by 21 centimetres in length, 6 centimetres wide. And I wanted people to write what they were grateful for in their life. And while they did that, we were creating a paper chain, a little bit like the Christmas chains we used to make as kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'd link in.
Yeah.
Glue them, link in. So
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly. And so we had a number of people in the community write down their gratitude links, and we connected these. This little project kind of went away for a while, and I put it aside, and then I started a meetup group. It was only for a number of months, but it was passionate parents with purpose. Mm-hmm. And I brought these links out again. I thought, well, this could be a cool thing to do for the parents and write down what they're grateful for. And all of a sudden, this whole kind of idea came to me of creating this chain that was going to just link people through gratitude. And so it became a bit of an obsession all of a sudden. And everywhere I went, I had these links with me, and I was asking people to just write down what you're grateful for. And
don't leave without getting me to write on.
Absolutely, and we'll get a photo too.
Nice.
And so it's just become this amazing movement, and people have just loved to get on board. Now, there's been some profound ones, some really profound ones that have been sent to me. Now, I have received gratitude links from all over the world. I'm talking about America, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, India, all over New Zealand, all over Australia. It's just phenomenal. In the post, from people that I've met, people that are taking them on in schools and sporting clubs and this kind of thing. And I share some of these really profound ones on the stage when I'm speaking. And I'll share 3 with you now. And one of them is from a university professor. And he said he was grateful that he survived a helicopter crash. I had another young lady that said she was grateful that she survived 2 attempts of suicide. Mm-hmm. And then an inspirational speaker who shared that she was grateful that her family and her escaped the Bosnian War and survived. Now we have domestic violence, expressions of gratitude, kids that are expressing their gratitude. One particular 4-year-old that said, "I'm grateful for my robot dinosaur," which is so cool.
So why is gratitude so important?
Well, it's proven now that gratitude actually improves your mental health. It actually sets neural pathways in your brain, and it actually also increases the area of the prefrontal cortex. And so there's real, statistics now and scientific evidence around gratitude improving mental health.
Also, one of the things you try and do with your show is get the right type of hormones and things firing the brain. You want to speak to those 2 things, mindfulness and also the importance of creating positive experience and what that effect has on the brain? Absolutely.
So I share quite a bit on the stages about, the importance of getting active every single day. And when we get active, we release all these happy chemicals in our body, which actually make us feel younger and actually make us look younger. So we're talking about the, growth hormone, those sort of thing, right? So endorphins, serotonin, dopamine. And the higher the intensity, the more these chemicals are released as well. And, of course, we release these chemicals through hugging. We release these chemicals through laughter, comedy, getting outside, getting active and that kind of thing. So I've put a bit of a twist on this, and it is about bringing out your child. I think it's really important that we play a lot more as adults, and so I've put a twist on this, and I skip every day. And when I talk about skipping, I'm talking about skipping down the road, not with a skipping rope.
Yes.
And when I skip, I can't help but smile. I laugh, I'm happy. And when people see me skip, they laugh and they smile as well. And that's cool if they're laughing at me because we are connecting through dopamine. And so what I say is put a skip in your day to keep depression away. So I say it's a double dose of dopamine because you're creating laughter and, yourself and connecting the community through laughter. So it's a phenomenal thing. And I am getting people that are listening to me on the stage and saying, I'm going to do that. That is one action I am taking now every single day is I'm skipping.
That's
and
awesome.
It's really improving my mental health. So, and it's so simple. It's and most of these things are with mental
I was
health.
going to say, some of the stuff that I've seen, people can go and visit your website and your Facebook page, and they will get some of these tools that you talk about. And I know that one of the things you do in the schools as part of your program, which we'll quickly touch on before we wind up the interview, we'll talk about not only are you in the schools running your show, from there is an actual program.
Yes.
So do you want to just quickly speak
Sure.
to that and the mindfulness stuff as well? That is part of that program.
Yes, it is indeed. So we have the Dream Guards live stage show, which runs for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then we also have a 24 module program, which is the Perfect Peace program. Mm-hmm. So with the peace tools being the anchor of that program. And in these modules is mindfulness and the importance of mindfulness. And it's about being present in the moment. And it's about sitting and being quiet and resting our minds. It's so important that we take moments to just sit and be. We are so busy on our devices all the time, and we're getting sidetracked and we're getting distracted by other people's opinions and other people's posts, and we're not sitting and just being quiet and being present. And it's so important. It's gold. It really is. So we need to really meditate more and practice those moments of mindfulness and being present and just enjoying the beautiful surroundings of nature and all that these gifts provide. The sounds of the birds, the wind through our hair, all these beautiful moments. So this is part of our program. We also have resilience. We have healthy eating and exercise. We have friendships and showing compassion. We also have a community project. Mm-hmm. So it's about giving back to community.
Yes.
And I really believe if kids can learn this about giving back in a community project, they learn about the benefits of giving. And through this, I really believe we find true happiness, actually, in serving, coming
Yes.
from a serving heart.
I think serving's a very important thing, and I think that's where a lot of people, and even people with mental health, often that's something where they're locked inside themselves. And you talk about helping that teenager and having her volunteer. And sometimes when you give to others, you realise there's value within yourself that you didn't realise you actually had, because it's not something you think you can help anyone else with until you come to actually be in a situation where you can. But look, Donna-Leigh, perfect. I'm absolutely happy to have had you on the show. You're an author in a couple of weeks.
Well, absolutely.
So is there a title for the book that I can, once it's released, I can link it for people so they can go and find the book that you've just authored?
Yes. Well, actually, I've got two books. One is the Perfectly Bullied, Perfectly at Peace, and it's an anthology of 10 women's stories, but it is my story in a brief description of my background and what I'm doing today, but also I'm a children's author now.
Oh, yes.
And so the children's books are The Adventures of Jessie and Rocky Rockstar, Jessie being my daughter, and Rocky Rockstar is our rescue dog. So it's about the beautiful lessons that Rocky Rockstar's teaching Jessie about everyday life, like compassion and kindness and giving back. So, and if you want to send your gratitude link,
yes, absolutely,
please send it to me. We are going for a Guinness World Record, and we have a time frame of December to achieve a 500 metre long gratitude chain. So that's super exciting. So please send it to PO Box 70, Varsity Lakes, Queensland 4227. It's 6 centimetres by 21 centimetres. Tell us what you're grateful for.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for taking time to watch this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also hit the bell button to get notified when new interviews are uploaded. Once again, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime. Catch you later.